This is why you can never relax. The foundation you have placed your faith for happiness on is not solid, and as the Son of God, you know this. So, hey, Nan.
Hey, how are you?
Nan Kinney is in the room. Okay, so again, what Holy Spirit is saying is if you are seeking illusory approval, and I will tell you, now that we've kind of shifted into Laurent, I will tell you this was very important to him. In fact, so important to him, you guys probably know that Laurent was a singer. And he had a contract with, I believe it was MGM. And he put out 2 CDs, and he did concerts, and he had done television appearances, and he was really doing quite well. But for him, it was a painful experience instead of a really positive experience. It was a painful experience. And the reason it was a painful experience is because he was always looking at the faces to see if he was being approved of in the moment or not. And of course, you can imagine if you're always looking at the faces to see if you're being approved of, you're going to find the faces that maybe don't have that expression. Do you guys all approve of me? Hard to tell. Hard to tell. You're going to find those. And so what Spirit is telling him is this is why you can't relax. Because you have illusory approval and love mixed up. And not only that, you can never, ever get the approval of all 6 billion people on the planet. And in fact, you can probably never ever, unless you're dealing with an enlightened one, you can probably never ever get the approval of one person 100% of the time. Right? So if you are depending on illusory approval to convince yourself that you are loved and lovable, well, you're really counting on something you can't count on, and you know that, and that's why your butt is tight. That's why you can't ever relax, right? You actually live in fear. There's this underlying fear always. Holy Spirit continues. I said that this idea that you cannot trust illusory approval seems unconscious. I say it seems unconscious because in truth, it isn't. If you look at it carefully with me, you will see that the fear of loss of approval is never truly unconscious. You may not admit to yourself that you are doing this or that, never truly being fully authentic because you seek approval. But if you look at it slowly with me now, you know it is true. The idea that you must win approval is always there, lurking in the open back of the mind. Therefore, it is not unconscious. And if it is not unconscious, you can look at it more directly with me. So I'm wondering now, and of course you don't all have to stick up your hands or anything, but I am wondering now how many of us are starting to look at, as we listen to this message, look at ourselves and realize, you know, he's talking about me too, because I spend a lot of time seeking approval. It's true. I spend a lot of time seeking approval, and it is also true that I cannot relax, you know. Holy Spirit continues. Now let's look at your, notice what he calls it, greatest worldly fear. Let's imagine, are you ready? Your greatest worldly fear. I'm having a hot flash anyway, so I'm joining in on this. But if the rest of you, if you aren't having hot flashes yet, maybe you're about to, because he's going to have you look at your greatest worldly fear. Get ready for the hot flashes. Pull out the fans. Here we go. Let's imagine no approval. Let's imagine there is not a shred of it. Let's imagine that everywhere you look, you encounter open hatred directed toward you. There isn't a single soul you can count on. The entire world is joined in agreement on one thing, and that one thing is that they don't like you. They don't want you. They don't want to lay eyes on you. They don't even want the thought of you crossing their minds because it causes them such terrible agony. The one thing that the entire world is in agreement on is this. They thoroughly and completely hate and are disgusted by you. Okay, is anybody else having a hot flash yet? I don't want to be alone in this hot flash thing. All right? He really wants you to look at this. He's not joking. He wants you to look at the idea. Look at the idea that nobody loves you.